Okay, so why the V18 batteries? Well, the V18 batteries, in this instance, we're going to be using for a test on some work lights. Now, I used to have 3 of these. One of them got stolen. Never steal tools. But one of them still works. It has its halogen light in there, and we can measure how bright that is, and the other one hasn't worked in quite some time. And the reason why we're going to play around with these is we're going to compare the upgrade LED for flashlights with just a generic one off of eBay. About the same thing. This one's about half as much. The Milwaukee one is, what you see those for. So, I had converted one of these lights before, and unfortunately that's the one that got stolen. So we're going to do the conversion again. We're going to test the brightness of the stock light, and we're going to compare, see if it's, we know we get an upgrade in runtime, but do we get an upgrade in brightness? Now, my memory may be a little foggy on this whole thing, so we're going to find out. Okay, so since we got that out, we'll just take a quick look here. One advantage to the Milwaukee one is that it works, they say, between 9.6 volt and 28 volt LED light, and that would basically convert any of their work lights except the 7.2 volt NiCad, which maybe they didn't even make one. That might have just been drills. Anyway, they say it's impact resistant, which yes, LEDs are. And I definitely, I believe that's probably why this one is not working, because it fell. And the runtime could be up to 3 times longer. Maybe we'll test that, maybe we won't. I don't have equal V18 batteries. I had rebuilt these and I was experimenting with cells, so I didn't put the same cells in 2 yet. So we really don't have a fair comparison on runtime. And they claim that this will work with multiple products. You can use it with DeWalt, Makita, Bosch, Rigid, Hitachi. So that thing now goes in that thing. This we have no specs with. It's just the handsome carrying case. That too, gone. So here we go, looking at the lights themselves. This has a little bit of a voltage advantage, if we can see. Maybe not. No, you can't. But that does say 6 to 24 volts. And this one here we saw in the package was 9 to 28. So let's do some readings and get on for a baseline what our original lamp light was. And then we'll put these two in and compare. Okay, so we got our trusty light meter out here. And let's see what our base light is. It looks like we can get this up to... Got to play with how you line this all up. But it looks like we're right around 3,000 foot candles. There we go. It's pretty good. 3,000, 3,100, and I am right on top of that. Let's back it up a little bit. And very unscientific here. But we drop off in foot candles significantly. I tell you what I'll do. I'll go full frame distance here on the camera, and we're about 1,200. So now what we'll do is change this over and see what it gets. Alright, so one thing we should note here is that the Milwaukee light only makes contact on the bottom of itself. So if we look, the contact surface is here on the bottom, and the way this light works is this tab slides over top of the lamp, and the Milwaukee light, I even tried scraping some paint off there. I remembered there was some funny business with this thing years back, and I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but I do recall now what it was, is that I needed to put a small piece of wire in there to complete the contact of this thing. So the piece of wire goes underneath the lamp and the slide together, and that's what completes the circuit, the piece of wire. It's a little hokey, but it does work. I need more than one hand to get that in there. Just like that. And we've got our piece of wire in there. Not the easiest thing to do, but you can see it works. So it's a little hokey. That's not the best, but it does get you a result. And then you can put your cap back on here if you don't cross thread it. And you can see we have our nice new Milwaukee light inside. And that works. So a plus for the there you can see is our halogen light. A plus for the non-Milwaukee light is that we can just take our halogen light out and just set that aside there. And this one, you can see, would have the contact surfaces on the top. So I should be able to just put this in and not struggle with anything. So that's a big plus for that one. That one actually is a direct replacement, whereas the Milwaukee one does not appear to be intended for this style of light, because we had to do some retrofitting to it. So let me get this put together and we'll try the lights again. Okay, here we are with our light meter, and we'll do the right on top of it test. It does not appear to be as high as the halogen was. Now this is the Milwaukee light. Now let's do the full span here. Okay, so that's quite a bit dimmer. I believe we were at 1200 lumens before, or foot candles, I'm sorry. I can't do lumens with this, we'd have to do a conversion. But we were about like that, and it appears as though best we're getting is 400 foot candles. Let's try the other one here, right on top of it. That is actually appear to be a much brighter light. We're getting close to that 3000. Yeah, there we go, right on it. And then back here, like we had before, it's still not as high as the halogen. So the reflector doesn't seem to be getting utilized as much with this, because you do not have the side lighting like the halogen bulb would. And we can take a look at that. So while we saw the straight on brightness was just about the same with this particular converter, the side, the overall, as we got further away, that started to decrease exponentially, it appeared. And I think what's happening there is we aren't utilizing the side of the lamp. You can see the LED chip is just here, and we're not getting the reflector in here. We're just getting the straight on. So when we had the sensor right on top of this, these two are actually very similar to each other in rating. It's when you get further out that you're taking advantage of this reflector, and that's where the side light off of this element hitting the reflector is helping. So all that being said, you can convert your lights, get better runtime, but you are going to sacrifice brightness. Now it does appear as though the LED has a little bit more of a flood effect, but it's not really, it does improve your lighting. Let's just put it that way, but it isn't as focused and bright as it would be with the halogen. So here we go, we have the two. Here's the Milwaukee, and here's the half as much replacement that I found, generic job. Here's the Milwaukee, and here's the replacement. You can definitely tell as the camera's aperture adjusts, the half as much knockoff is definitely brighter than the Milwaukee is. So I would say in this instance, save your money, buy the one that's half as much. Now the Milwaukee may be better in other lights, but again, these chips are very similar the way they're made. You can actually see how we're not utilizing that full reflector. When we look at the Milwaukee one here, you can see a good part of that reflector is not even really catching much light, whereas this one, I don't know if we can get the aperture to adjust or not. No, we're not gonna. But it's an interesting little experiment there. Again, we have right on with the Milwaukee. We can get close. We get the 2400, 2500 foot candles, but the knockoff one is brighter. We get up to 3200. Now I'm physically touching that with that. Just for the fun of it, we swapped back to the halogen, and we actually don't have quite as, let's see, no, we do. We actually have as much, if not a little bit more, straight on touching lumens with the halogen. So the halogen is definitely a brighter light in this instance, not overly surprising. There we can see we're utilizing more of the reflector. Even when I get on an angle here, you don't see that dead spot. All the reflectors getting used and focusing the light outwards. That's really what you want, and that's what this light is actually designed for. This is an older light designed for a halogen lamp. So no real surprise there, but they're easy to change out. Here's your old lamp. You should probably not touch that with your fingers, but we're changing over to LED. And you can just put the LED one in just like that, and there you go. So I just wanted to share that. I didn't know what we were going to get. It turns out that the knockoff ones are actually a little easier to work with than the purpose-built Milwaukee ones. I think the only place the Milwaukee's going to shine is if you need the 28-volt replacement. But then again, I didn't scour the internet. Maybe we could find one for that. Either way, I thought it was fun. I don't like getting rid of tools. And I could use some more work lights in the shop, so I thought I would play around with this. But there we go. I thought I'd play around with that a little bit, take a look at it, see if we get to some more lights working in the shop. Always good to have some shop lighting, and these things here, they've been through it. They've been good lights. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys took something away from it. These are decent replacement lamps, though you're not going to necessarily get the spot lighting that you had before. You will get more of a floodlight on your workpiece. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.